Hey guys, what's going on? It's Alex from Fitment Industries, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most hotly debated conversation starters, questions, comments, things that you guys ask us about nothing more than stretch tires. Now, before we get into it, we do want to say our lawyers made us say this because they're boring and lame and they get paid way more than I do, that if you stretch your tires, you do have to remember that you increase the risk of debeating your tire and safety. So be sure that if you're going to stretch your tires, that we are out of the mix when it comes down to liability, and whether you choose to do it or not is entirely your call. Whether you choose to purchase them or not is entirely your call. We are just here to tell you how to calculate stretch, but once you do the purchase and the things with the stretch tires, completely out of our control. We're gonna pretend like we don't even know you. Before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries, and let's get right into it. When you calculate stretch, it's very difficult to do. Now, we have a calculator and different things on our site. We even have a gallery where you can look and see what stretch tires look like, but at the end of the day, it's very hard to actually calculate stretch. Everybody has a different definition of what a stretch tire is. So we decided to browse the forums, browse Facebook, and ask a bunch of people, because we know a couple people, on how they calculate stretch and how people like just you and me can get down to it and figure out how to calculate stretch with nothing more than pretty much a pencil and a piece of paper. And we did. So we wanted to give credit to the guy named Hellkite. He was on a forum that actually calculated stretch and found a very good way to go about it that we wanted to pass on to you guys. So again, Hellkite, I don't know his actual name, thank you for doing all the work that you did. We are going to help these guys figure out how to calculate stretch as well, and we will actually drop the original thread in a post description thing below. But of course, let's get right into it. So this system is gonna work for most wheel setups. Now, diameter really doesn't matter. So if you have a 13 or a 23, it's not gonna change anything. What is gonna change is the width, and we're gonna get into that. We're gonna break this down into what we call stages. So we're gonna have stages of stretching from down all the way up in terms of meaty stretches. So we're gonna start off with just the basics, which is a 255/35 tire on an 18 by 10. So 255/35 tire on an 18 by 10 is actually almost the exact perfect setup for a square setup. If you take the 255, you turn that into inches, you're getting roughly around 10 inches exactly. And that 35 sidewall is almost identically perfect to a straight up and down sidewall on a 10 wide. And with how we do the stages, you use the 255/35 on an 18 by 10 to essentially set up your baseline, where if we go down in aspect ratio or we go down in tire size, that's how we're going to get our stages of stretching. And if we go up in tire size or we go down in width, but we stay in our tire size in terms of a wider tire, smaller width wheel, we also get that meaty stage setup as we go into the future. So the 255/35 is what we'll call a stage 0. It's a neutral spot for you to calculate your stretch. Now, if you go into how you're going to go down, you're gonna wanna remember that section changes go in intervals of 10 and sidewall changes in interval of 5, meaning if you go from a 255 to a 245, that is one stage of stretch. If you go from a 255/35 to a 255/30, that is also one stage of stretch. So just take that into consideration. A 245/35 on a 10 wide would be a stage 1 stretch. That would be a mild stretch. A 235/35 on the 10 wide would be a stage 2 stretch. On a 225/35, you'd be looking at a stage 3, which would be a full stretch. Now that would be about as far as you could actually go in terms of stretching out your tires. There's very few tires you can go to a stage 4, and by then you are dealing with some severe debeating issues and a whole bunch of mess that we will not even get into. Now, if we go back, you can actually run a 225/40, which brings you back up to a stage 2 stretch. Because what we're doing is, because we went down in the overall section width of your tire, but we went up in aspect ratio, you're essentially doing pluses and minuses overall to get to what stage stretch you're doing. So you might want to redo that all over again. You can watch it over, but trust me, it's completely worth it, because since we're going down in sections of 10, that gives you one stage of stretch. If you go down 5 in terms of your width, your aspect ratio of your tire, that is also one stage of stretch. I don't know why I'm doing so much with my hands, but it helps me articulate what I'm trying to say. And remember that this math works backwards as well. So if you have a 255/35 on a 10 wide and you want to go slightly meatier than just a straight up and down look, you can go up to a 265/35 for what we will call a stage 1 meaty look. We don't really have a better name for it, and the more I say meaty, the weirder it sounds, but it goes for the same way. 255/40 would also give you a stage 1 meaty look. Now, we described a 235/35 and a 225/40 as a stage 2 stretch, and you're like, how does that work? Well, the reason that works out to be the same size of stretch is because of how the aspect ratio works with your section width, meaning that because you have more sidewall on that 40 series, that it's gonna bend in just as much as a wider wheel would with less of an aspect ratio on the side. So trust me, now this isn't an exact math, but this is gonna get you as close as you can possibly get to calculating out your stretch. And we're gonna put some pictures during this video so you can kind of see what it looks like. Now, if you wanna go out and actually just see what a 235/35/18 looks like on a 10 wide wheel, you can go out to our gallery at fitmentindustries.com and enter in that tire information, and you'll be able to see exactly what it looks like on thousands of vehicles. That's the whole reason that we have the gallery. It's why we want you to add to the gallery so that we can get other people the fitment that they want. Now, one very important thing to remember is that if you choose to use your aspect ratio, your sidewall, as how you're going to stretch up or stretch down your tire, you have to remember that the higher number you go, like a 40 versus a 35, the wheel will sit taller than a 35 sidewall, and that just has to do with the fact of your inflation and a couple other things. So if you're looking to make sure that you can get as close as you possibly can to the ground, or maybe you're trying to get that perfect fender to lip look, you will want to use the overall section width, that would be the actual width of your tire, as your stretch stage instead of your sidewall. Now, you can do both, but again, we don't recommend going past 3 stages of stretching. He's probably actually like working. Now, we're gonna add one more level of confusion, because in case you weren't confused yet, my goal is son of So in case that hasn't been confusing enough, we have another level of complication to add to this. Now, you remember if you go down 10 in your section width, you essentially get 1 stage of stretch. Or if you go down 5 in your aspect ratio, you also go down in 1 size of stretch. Now, you can also attribute that to the width of your wheels, meaning that if you have a 255/35 on a 18/10, which is our square setup, remember that's our baseline, and we choose to go up to a 10.5 versus a 10, we now have also accomplished 1 level of stretch. Every 1/2 inch of width of your wheel is also going to be another variable that can essentially go to 1 stage of stretch or 1 stage of meatiness, depending on which way you go. So you have 3 different things that can essentially attribute to the stretch look of your tire. So a couple great baselines for, I would say, a stage 0 is going to be your 18/9 225/40 and an 18/9 235/35. So remember, that's going to give you that nice up and down look, which actually looks pretty good on a lot of sport hatches and BRZ FRSs. It's going to be a great starting point. Now, if you're looking to get into the math, you can use some of those numbers that I just said to start your baseline. Now, stage 1 is what we call a mild stretch, meaning that it's what you're going to get away with if the police actually care about your stretch tires. It's going to be something that you're going to be able to get away with a little bit of a sportier look, but to still be able to tuck your wheel inside your fender if you're getting really close to that fender and you decide to roll it. So we're going to give you a couple numbers on what we would call a stage 1 stretch. Some examples of those numbers include an 18/10 245/35 and a 17/11 255/40. If we go up to a stage 2, we'll call that max stretch or a solid stretch, depending on how crazy you decide you want to be. But a stage 2 stretch is where you're going to start to see that tire pull away from the wheel. You're going to start to see the lip of the wheel. And of course, we're going to give you that disclaimer again. If you stretch your tires, you risk debeating, all that lawyer stuff. We're not liable if anything happens or if your tire blows up and blah, 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 blah. Stage 2 is going to be taking that another step further. And that's what a lot of people, we would say 90% of the people want when we say they want a stretched setup, especially in our emails. Most are talking about a stage 2 stretch. You will see a lot of people that run a stage 2 stretch do have curb rash, and it has a lot to do with the fact that people don't think that they ever curb their wheels until they realize that they pull their tire away, and they run into things a lot more common than they think. So just take that into account. If you choose to do a stage 2 stretch, you're risking a lot, but if you risk it for the biscuit and that's what you want, we'll give you some examples of tire setups that are stage 2. 2 examples of that include an 18/12 285/30 and a 15/9 195/45. So you can use those 2 numbers as examples for your stage 2 stretch and then attribute to what your setup is going to be, and that will give you what stage stretch you want. And finally, we have what we would call a stage 3 stretch. Now this is about as extreme as you get. We are not liable, we are not responsible, we are not gonna tell you that you should do this. We're not anything of that. But if you wanna know what the maximum stretch is for what a lot of people do in the scene that we do not condone because we are a business and we are not liable for that sort of stuff, this is what it sits at. Some examples of a stage 3 stretch, what we call a full stretch, would be an 18 by 10 and a half, 225/40, a 19 by 14, 315/30, a 16 by 11, 225/45. Now, for stage 4 setups, you are absolutely not going to want to do that ever. So we're not even gonna talk about it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. And then obviously, since we go back to an 18 by 10, 255/35, let's just go into a meaty setup, and that's going to be the exact opposite way. That means that your tire is bulging out farther. It's going to give you a heavier track setup. It's going to give you more traction path. It is going to give you just a stronger connection to the ground, and it is what I would recommend you do if you're looking to do a track-oriented setup. Remember, you can do camber on track-oriented setups. It's want to be probably under -3 degrees, though, if you look to tuck your meaty setup underneath your stock fender. What we do say is anything above a stage 2 for a meaty setup, though, you are going to lose a lot of the attributes that make a wider tire better. You're going to have loss of traction due to the fact that you're not going to have the same connection points as you would on a properly set up tire. Now, if you go into the real math of it, it can be an entire mess, but what you do need to know, going up a size or going up 2 sizes is probably all that we would recommend if you're looking to do a meaty setup. So if this is one of those videos that is a little bit more moderately math oriented, it is going to require you guys to watch it 2 or 3 times if you're trying to do your own math, but we will put a little bit of a formula in the description below. If you're interested in seeing what these tire setups look like with an actual picture, check out our gallery at fitmentindustries.com. You can actually enter in the tire size and wheel size of what you're looking to buy. There are cars in our gallery that have that exact setup, so you can see what those tire stretched or meat setups look like. And of course, if you're looking to, you can add to our gallery if you have an aftermarket car, fitmentindustries.com/add. If you're looking for wheels and tires and you're looking to get that stretch setup or meaty setup, or you're looking to just get a square setup like 90% of the world, you can go out to fitmentindustries.com and you can build your own package. We have 30,000 wheels, tires, all that sort of good stuff. Everything from your Gram lights to your Volks to your ESRs to your everything. Absolutely everything. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. Thank you again to Hell Kite for providing us this math. It's absolutely awesome. And we will see you later. Peace.